Welcome to our third video for Vision Science Research. In this video, we'll look at how to develop your keywords and subject terms. Going back to our PICO form, we can see we already have some ideas for keywords from this form. We could search for myopia, children, or atropine. However, it's important to think of other keywords that would bring up relevant sources. When we're searching databases, the databases are matching our search terms to words in the titles, abstracts, or descriptions, and subject terms. Like these are mesh terms in PubMed, for example, of articles and other sources. So in this example, we can see we searched for myopia in PubMed, and we can see how PubMed has put that word in bold in the search results that it's matched our search terms to. So when we're thinking of search terms, we need to think of words that would appear in the titles, abstracts, or subject terms of articles that contain information about our topic. Remember to use your research log and add all new search terms that you think of, and then the ones you end up using. We're looking for articles about myopia, but it might be referred to as something different or a more specific or general aspect of this disorder in other articles. So we want to learn other terms that it might be called so that we can use those as search terms. However, admittedly, myopia and atropine usually do bring up very relevant relevant articles. It doesn't seem like we actually need to use synonyms when searching for these topics. However, this instance is quite rare when searching. Normally, you really do need to figure out at least a few other keywords. So we'll practice doing that in this video. However, as we'll see in a bit, this topic is a great example of when using subject terms such as mesh in PubMed is extremely useful. And so we'll look at how to do that in this video. A great way to do this is to look in background sources such as medical textbooks or point of care sources. So you can find the list of these sources and the links to access them on the Optometry Research Guide under the evidence-based optometry page under find where to look for evidence. In this example, we can see we searched for myopia in Clinical Key and found this part of a book chapter. We can see it's a book entitled Treatment of Refractive Errors in Children, and in a section entitled Myopia Control. This would be a good overview of this topic. From here, we can click Control F on a PC or Command F on a Mac to search this article for atropine to see where it's mentioned, and then read about it. From this, we can learn more about atropine for myopia control and find keywords that we might use. Another great place to find keywords is to start searching the article databases using the keywords you already have in mind. So we could also look at the subject terms assigned to the article. If we look at this article in PubMed, we can see that it was assigned this list of mesh terms. This means that it's related to these specific topics. And if you search for one of these mesh terms, this article would be included in the search results. These mesh terms can also give you ideas for search terms. The next thing you would want to do is specifically look up subject terms in the database you're searching. In PubMed, the subject terms are called mesh terms or medical subject headings. When an article is added to a database, it's assigned a list of subject terms that the article is related to. This means that if you search a database using subject terms, you should find all of the sources in that database that are related to that subject. This is very helpful because sometimes you can't think of all the keywords that your topic might be called. Here we see that the mesh term would be myopia. This is a pretty straightforward example. To see what mesh terms are related to your keyword, go to the PubMed homepage and click Mesh Database in the lower right-hand corner. At this point, you're now finding out what mesh terms are related to whatever keywords you type in the search box. So in this example, I found that myopia is the correct mesh term for myopia. If I click Add to Search Builder in the upper right corner of the page, I can see what the mesh term syntax is. This specific syntax, which is usually quotation marks around the mesh term followed by mesh in brackets, is what tells the database to search for your keyword as a mesh term instead of as a keyword. So the syntax needs to be exact. So what you want to do is simply copy the syntax from the search builder and then paste it into your research log. Since we're focusing on therapy for myopia, we can actually click the box next to therapy and click Add to Search Builder. This will be a mesh term that will bring up only articles related to therapy for myopia, which is more specifically what we want. So we'll copy that term and add it to our research log. It looks like this. See the bottom right, myopia / therapy in quotation marks and then mesh in brackets. As we search for child as a mesh term, we'll see a description of what this mesh term encompasses. It reads, a person 6 to 12 years of age, an individual 2 to 5 years old is child, preschool. Since our example is for age 5, we actually need to use child, preschool instead. Most databases have some kind of subject terms that you can use. In CINAHL, they're called subject headings. To find out what subject headings would be relevant for your keyword, click CINAHL Subject Headings in the top menu bar. Then enter your keyword and click Browse. You'll be brought to a page with different subject headings to choose from. Here we can see that it says myopia, use myopia. So it's telling us which one is related to our topic. If we click that box, and we can see a list of subheadings to choose from. Since we want to focus on therapy, we can click the therapy box and then click search database. Now we'll see a list of search results that are related to therapy for myopia. This should be a complete list of articles in this database for this topic. We can see the database has used its own syntax to indicate it's searching for these terms as subject terms instead of keywords. So MH and then in quotation marks, myopia / TH, which should presumably stands for therapy. So looking back at this slide, here is a list of the relevant mesh terms for our keywords. Sometimes we might find that some of our keywords do not have any related mesh terms. In those cases, we would just simply search for them as keywords. However, we actually do have mesh terms for each of our main concepts in this example.